Hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Okay, it's time for Binbou Gami Guy, episode 8. Unfortunately, there won't be any customized thumbnails. Sorry, I had to do that. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, I don't want to get into too much details. I might get that strike off. That strike might be coming off. I just got an email because I did a claim. Apparently, it did take effect. It did take effect, and YouTube is telling me that if these fuckers who did the claim don't respond in like the next, I guess, 10 to 14 business days, they'll take off the strike. So that's good, because if the strike doesn't come off, I won't be able to do live streaming. That's the whole story with that. Anyway, moving right along. Binbou Gami Guy. Oh man, this episode was kick ass. Like, wow. Wow. Oh, wow. Some parodies, obviously. We had, what do we have? What do we have in this? We had a parody of Conan, Detective. Yeah, case closed. Parody of Friday the 13th? That was weird. Friday the 13th and changed, and you know. Oh, and guess what? There was a parody of One Piece. Oh my god, that was insane. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, really into it. The name of this episode was called Call Me by My Given Name. Call Me by My Given Name. This is episode 8. Wow, this is going fast! Man, these summer anime is just so, woo, they go whoop, and they're done. I remember giving name. So we get to begin the episode where they're on class, and you know we got Momoji, she's yawning, and Ranmaru, I believe that's her name, Ranmaru. Let me just check. Make sure I got that name correct. Yeah, Ranmaru, Rindo Ranmaru. She the students in the class want to invite her to karaoke. Want to invite her to karaoke. You know, and do karaoke and stuff. So she says, sure, yeah, you know, I'll do it, you know, and Momoji's so excited too, she wants to go. And then they invite Sakura, you know, Ichiko, and everyone gives her a dirty look. Now, supposedly in this episode, you find out why she acts the way she does. We find out, you know, what goes down, what the whole skimmy is, you know, everything. So, Sakura just basically shrugs them off and says, aha, I got some better things to do, you know, with her tone. And then she leaves, okay. And while they're at the karaoke place, we also get a scene with these three bitches, these three girls, one with red head, one a fatty girl, this girl with red hair, and this other one, staring down Sakura. But then Sakura leaves. She goes home. And while Ranmaru and Momoji are at the place, karaoke place, Ranmaru's wondering, you know, this character, Ranmaru, she's turning into the one where she's trying to, like, connect with Sakura, Ichiko. It's like a real trying her hardest to connect with her. And basically, she asks, you know, oh, you guys really didn't want Sakura to be here. And because she's mean, she's rude, she's crude, she always calls us flat-chested and everything, and that's why, and so on and so forth. Now, Momoji chimes into her, Ranmaru, and tells her, oh, you really want to know what she's doing right now? And she's giving an evil kind of smile. I mean, Momoji, I'm getting a good opinion on her. My opinion has changed on her to a degree. I mean, sometimes she's good, sometimes she's not. She's like, you know, Two-Face. But yeah, nail there. But she basically tells her, you know, want to see what she's really doing. She says that she's counting the linens in her mat. And I'm like, what? And that's what she was doing. Oh my god, that was insane. She's counting them. And I'm like, really? Then we get some parodies in here. Like I said before, we get some parodies. And, you know, she's like, oh, I can't believe you're doing that and everything. And, she says something mean to Ranmaru, saying she's flat-chested or something. And we get this parody of Ichiko. She looks like Conan from Case Closed. They'll parody everything. They parody everything in this show. It's just insane. It's just unbelievable. So we get that. And then we get another parody. We see Ranmaru, she gets angry and she wants to beat her up. And we see Momiji wearing a hockey mask and carrying a chainsaw. And I'm like, what is this, Friday the 13th? So yeah, that's what we got there. And then basically, and she asks, what the hell are you doing here and everything? I said, we're going to have fun. Have fun. Yeah, you know, that's what friends do. We have a reason to come over to a friend's house. And she's like, friend? And we get this kind of interesting thing going on now. And then what ends up happening is she's saying, oh, let's watch a movie. You know? Oh, no, we're talking about love lives, you know, and everything. And she's going on this. And then love lives and our love stories that they might have had. And we have a thing with, all of a sudden, out of the blue, parody from One Piece. We got the ones from the Baroque Works. That threw me off. I was like, what? And then we got them talking about their loves, like, oh, you know, and everything. And Ichiko's obviously complaining about it and everything. And she's like being condescending to Ranmaru. And she's saying that, oh, you know, we're not friends. I did that because I was pissed off. That's what she was basically saying. That she was pissed off, and that's why she did what she did. And then what ends up happening then is she says that. And then after she says it, Ranmaru just like touches her face and tries to rip her face off and saying, oh, I thought you were wearing a mask. Now, I think what the story here is that she feels like she's putting on a two-face. Like, this isn't the person you are. It's something else. And then after doing all ripping her face off and all that other shit, she just takes both of them out. And what ends on happening is Momiji was kicked out too. So she tells Mamoru, oh, I don't know everything, but I do know that there is something she's hiding and obviously something from her past. And she gives her these another gadget of the misfortune gadgets. It's these earmuffs with this metal thing connect to the earmuffs. And from what I understand is, if she takes those earmuffs, if Ranmaru takes those earmuffs, puts it on her ears, and takes the metal piece and put it against Ichiko's chest, she will see what's in her heart. That's the gist of it. Now, another thing also happened in this episode, I forgot to mention, the teacher tells them in the beginning of the episode that not to go into this certain building on campus because it's rickety and it's going to collapse anytime soon. That later comes into effect. Anyway, next day, what happens is Mamoru pesters Ichiko so much the next day and trying to go, let's have lunch together, let's do this, let's do that, and she's trying to hide away from her. And what ends up happening is, remember I told you the girl with the red hair? I forgot her name. She's like a background character. She takes Ichiko someplace, and Momoji's looking at it and saying, you know, oh, what's this? And she says another weird thing. She's like, put out the bat signal. They're making fun of Batman now? That was a funny thing. But basically what happened when she was watching her walk with this girl is she was kidnapped by these guys. So, and basically the three girls are into the building, the one that's rickety, saying to these guys, oh, you can do whatever the hell you want with her, you know, mess around with her, blah, blah, blah. And they say, sure. And they're going to, you know. So, at that point when they're about to do that, a freaking sandal comes out of nowhere and hits one of the guys in the face. And they're like, what the hell was that? And then the girls wonder, oh, is it her? And here comes Ranmaru, and she just freaking kicks their ass. Just kicks their ass and get the hell out of here. Then, after she did that, thinking, oh, she saved Ichiko and everything, she looks to her, she's gone. And she's just gone. She just left. And then, after she leaves, Ranmaru notices, oh, what's that creaking noise? Because like I told you, this building they're in, this building they went to, is the old school building. So, what ends on happening is they go to this, the building is going to collapse. And she's walking around saying, oh, she doesn't matter to me, she doesn't matter to me. And all of a sudden, it collapses. And she's like, Ranmaru! Ranmaru! You know, and everything. And it seems like she's really concerned about her. Now, she holds up the school the building that's collapsed. And I'm like, holy. So she's holding it up. And she gets those three that was the ones who started the whole mess, capturing Sakura and everything. They leave and they push Sakura out of the way. And then it hasn't collapsed yet. She's holding it up. And then we have this interesting conversation between Ichiko and Momoji. This interesting conversation, and apparently there's some deep roots here. And then she's back talking to her, saying, you don't know me, you don't know me, you don't know what I've been through, and so forth, and so forth. And we get a pop flashback. And we now know why she acts this way. When she, I think, was in middle school, she liked a boy, and she was friends with this girl, Kurumi. And Kurumi was a bitch. Like, to a point where she used her to try to get this boy. The boy's name eludes me at the moment, but try to get this boy to love her instead of Ichiko, instead of Sakura. And what she did is she used her to say, oh, give me that pendant. Because this boy gave Sakura the pendant because he was in love with her. But she gave it to Kurumi. And that made the boy hate her. And that's why she's never gotten friends. Because of that situation. And when she gave her the pendant back to her, Sakura, she was totally zoned out, glazed over, eyes glazed over. And she says to her, oh, take away that cheap piece of crap. In that kind of fashion. And it was all because of that freaking Kurumi that Sakura acts this way. So she's exploring this idea, and that's when Momoji out of the blue grabs her and does a freaking suplex. Oh man, there's a freaking suplex, and she falls. And then she gets really angry, you know, and brings out that sword, that wooden sword, brings it out, and is attacking Momoji, and then goes in there to save Ranmaru. And then, basically, what ends on happening is... I'm trying to think now. Lost my train of thought. What ends on happening is... She gets in there, she's able to save Ranmaru, she uses her creature things, you know. She gets out a snake and everything, and they're able to... He gives... Because what ended on happening was that Momoji took out Sakura's fortune. And gave it to her to give Ranmaru to save her. And they got out of the situation, they got out of the building without it fully collapsing. It was a very emotional scene. It was like, they all getting energy, you know, up and everything. And then... That's when Ranmaru uses the device to explore her heart, and she sees everything. And Ichiko kept telling her, you will betray me. You will, you will, you will, you will, you will. And this is basically back and forth conversation of saying, you will, you will, you will, you will. And she's saying, I won't, I won't. And she says, really, really, really? Yes, I will never, ever, ever betray you. So that was the whole bit. and saying, "Well, let's be friends." And then she's crying her eyes out, and it's just an emotional scene. It's really amazing, and that's where the episode more or less ends. And at the very end of the episode, we get a scene that we saw before. She tells Ranboo, "You can call me by my first name." "Okay, Sakura." So it's like one of those. It's a touching moment. This show is a mixed bag, man. It's not just a comedy. It's a comedy, and I believe it to be a drama. A lot of emotions, a lot of physical, real emotions going on in this show, and I like the character development of Ichiko. It's unbelievable. It's fantastic. So definitely a 5 out of 5. This was freaking awesome. I love that we finally find out what the story is with Ichiko, why she got the way she got, and now we know. Now we all know. So that's going to be awesome in the long run. Okay, guys, that's all I got for you today. The verses I'm going to do tonight, hopefully. I'm going to try to, because my collab channel's calling. Those guys are calling me, so I'll see if I can get the verses done tonight. A few of them, maybe 2 or 3 or 4, and I'll upload them tomorrow. We'll see. But that's all I got for you guys. Binbou and Binbou Gami. Now we know about Sakura, and this is going to get really interesting down the road. See you guys later.